I would like to thank TuComex and Cristina Peña for giving me the opportunity to participate in this splendid meeting. And also it's a pleasure for me to share this panel with such esteemed colleagues and friends. I will be addressing the adoption of the electronic bill of lading in a global context, but making particular reference to Italy, that is the jurisdiction where I'm practicing law for the last 25 years. I'm from Spain, from Salamanca, but I moved to Italy 25 years ago. My presentation will focus on legal matters. I'm not going to talk about technology, platforms, technical issues. The first question arises: why use an electronic bill of lading rather than a traditional paper-issued one? To answer this question, it could be useful to refer this study conducted by McKinsey Global Institute in 2022, I think, and this is the opening paragraph that it's, I think, interesting because shows that there has been in the process, bill of lading process, there has been no real progress from 1450. So this is, we all know that this is the real situation. But let's take a look on how digitalization could benefit the international trade. First, cost. You know that digitalizing trade documentation could avoid many costs. The study I have mentioned thinks that we could save $6.5 billion in direct costs. Secondly, adopting a digital bill of lading could improve the resilience of the supply chain and mitigate future disruptions. As we said, Angel, I think, we cannot avoid disruptions. They are common and it will happen. But maybe we can, with the electronic bill of lading, we can mitigate damages. For example, as we all know, during COVID, this is a real example. 1,000 of containers were stuck in ports because the documents were being transported in flights that were canceled. So the operators, terminal operators, and also customs authorities couldn't release the cargo. Maybe with the electronic instrument would have been avoided some damages. And third, I would like to mention the good security, speed, and a small risk of fraud. And in this point, I would like also to mention my professional experience in courts, because I have to deal with the registration of commercial credits among bankruptcy proceedings. And the creditors usually provide orders, invoices, and a copy of the bill of lading, because as you know, the original goes, when you have to pick up the goods, you have to give the original. So the creditors, sellers, do not have the original copy anymore after picking up the goods. So sometimes courts deny the registration because we cannot provide the original. Or worse, even worse, sometimes they do not accept the registrations because the the bill of lading, the paper one, is not signed. And all we know that this instrument is not signed at delivery. So maybe also this kind of problematics could be solved with the electronic instrument. So if the advantages are so clear, why is it so difficult to change, to make this changement, and to go and to adopt the electronic bill of lading? And we have two kinds of obstacles. The main obstacles are the absence of standards in their use. I'm talking about the platforms, technologies, that there are so many platforms, you know better than me, and this situation can create confusion for transfer this title. And the second problem is the lack of binding international regulations. This is my focus today. Before making reference to the Italian case, I would like to give a brief description of the international context. And I have to mention the most relevant step for legal harmonization, that is the model law on electronic transferable records, adopted by UNCITRAL, the United Nations Commission on International Trade, in 2017. And why is so important this model law? The model law is important because, as I will explain later, many powerful governments back it. But let me say some the main principles and challenges of this model law. The model law is based on three fundamental principles. The first one is no non-discrimination against electronic records. This principle recognizes the same value. The paper issued and the electronic bill of lading must have the same consideration. Second, technological neutrality. The model law chooses not to adopt a specific technology in order to be a legislation future-proof. Yeah. Future-proof, so for the future, to let remain in the time. And the third one is functional equivalence. The electronic document must meet the same requirements of the paper one. The challenges faced by the model law, the primary challenge is enabling the three essential functions of a paper bill of lading: receive the good for goods, validate the receipt of goods, evidence of contract of carriage, and to be a document of title to prove the ownership. If you have, you know that if you have the bill of lading, you have the ownership of the goods. As I said before, the relevancy of the model law is first that many powerful governments are backing it. For example, the G7 countries decided to urge the countries, the governments, to adopt a legislation based on model law. It was during the G7 meeting in 2021 that it was made a declaration in this sense. It was reaffirmed in 2022, and we hope that also this year under the Italian presidency that it will be adopted a declaration in this way. There is also a commitment of ICC, International Chamber of Commerce, in adopting this, urging governments to adopt legislation to recognize the electronic trade documents. The model law has been already adopted in many countries. It's in Bahrain, Paraguay, Singapore, also in France, also in Germany. France is about to approve a draft, but it's worth mentioning UK, because it was approved last year, the Electronic Trade Documents Act, that it will be very, very, very important for two reasons. First, because we guess that it will be adopted also in the 53, 54 Commonwealth countries. And also because, as we know, English law is also the applicable law in many contracts worldwide. So we think that the impact will be very, very important. And let's see what is the situation in Italy. Italy, unfortunately, is the sole G7 country that has not yet adopted legislation regarding electronic transferable records based on modern law. And today it's not clear what is going to happen. So the question, a practical question, is if a ship arrives at an Italian port with all documentation in digital format, what happens? Will it be required to provide a printed version? My answer, from a legal point of view, is uncertain, because formally there is no recognition of electronic documents. So it depends on the mutual agreement between the parties. But if just one party of the supply chain does not accept the electronic version, or maybe a customs authority does not accept this document, it is needed the paper version. This is my answer. So, could we conclude that in Italy there is no legal framework to recognize the electronic bill of lading? We can say that it's not exactly, because we have some legal instrument to uphold the recognition. We have, of course, we are a member of European Union, and we have a legislation on digital signatures or e-commerce, and also more recently smart contracts. But this is not enough to justify the recognition. We have also other instruments, also the article, this is a technical issue, but the Article 46 of the European Regulation IDAS that recognize the legal value of electronic papers in front of the court, only in this situation, but it is not enough. What is the current situation? We have a dynamic time, because ICC, for example, the initiative of ICC in Italy is very important, as also in Spain. So they are working on this objective. They have created a working group to identify the best option to give legal recognition under Italian law. And they are checking what is the impact and benefit of digitalization on trade. It is also ongoing in a survey in cooperation with Deloitte to analyze the impact of this challenge. The survey is expected in the first quarter of this year. So I have been waiting. It would be great to provide this document today, but if somebody is interested, I will be looking, and I can provide it when it was issued. So let's keep our eye on how things progress. Thank you so much. Gracias.